Yes, yeah, thank you very much for this great reunion. Yes, indeed, it's a topic that was never worked upon so far, calendar from this multidisciplinary approaches. Yes, at the same time, it's a challenge now for the publication also to prepare the different materials. It is also clear that still there are barriers between the disciplines, but all this is a process that will take time. Well, outlook for next conferences. Yeah, difficult, of course. From my field, I would love to do something antiquities in connection with the Quran, but maybe this is a bit sensitive. Maybe what could be an interesting venture is about development of media, how media in the sense codex, scroll, inscription, how these different media develop over time. As I understood your program or vision of the journal, it reaches until 7th century, correct? Yeah, so the Umayyad period is still included, yeah? Not the end of Umayyad period, but the beginning, something like this. Yeah. So, okay, only Abdul Malik, yeah? Yeah, okay. But I mean, it's maybe a bit too early to decide now. Anyhow, we're looking forward, and thanks again.
Well, at the beginning I felt like an alien here in some way, but after 2 days I have noticed that, for me it has been like discovering a new world completely, because I mean, I work in a discipline which is multidisciplinary in itself, but I had no idea at all that you all were doing such important things on a topic that is very important for me, like calendars, you see. Because I mean, I have been dealing with Egyptian calendar already for more than 20 years. So in that sense, I'm very happy to have been here. I think I have made a series of very good contacts that in the future probably will work out in something. And well, since I am the alien here and my specialty has been dealt in this conference, I don't know exactly what to propose for the future, but you may think perhaps in things like travels, I mean orientation, not orientation of buildings, I mean orientation within the desert or at the sea. The Arabian Peninsula has been always in the middle of everything at one side, so in some sense, this could be probably a good topic to work in the future, the relationship with market things, economy, and even politics in traveling. Of course, you have the Hajj now. You are now the center of the well, it is not the largest pilgrimage in the world, because I think there is one in India, which involves more people every year. But one of the most important things in this aspect. So this might be a topic for the future.
Once again, we thank the Hassan bin Muhammad Center for this wonderful collaboration. And as the publisher, it is a delight to see these stimulating discussions and these interdisciplinary approaches of topics. And this will hopefully generate a lot more publications in the future. I have a lot of confidence in that. And it's also a pleasure to say that we just, right before the conference, signed a contract for a book series as a supplement to the journal. And I see that there is a lot of work to do, and there will be a lot of publications coming out of this, and with very interesting and stimulating topics. And I trust every single conference in the coming years will be as interesting as this one, or more interesting even.
So thank you also from my part. I I agree with those that have spoken before me that one of the things that was more interesting in this conference was that we had the possibility to talk with people that we don't normally meet at our more restricted conferences that we usually attend, or at least that I usually attend. And so it has been very stimulating because we had the possibility to confront ideas, methodology, and interpretations. As for the future, I didn't reflect a lot on it, but one thing that is coming to my mind now is probably a less exciting topic than calendars, that is the legal area. So, for example, confronting legal texts and also legal terminology, which we don't understand very well, I think, in our South Arabian text. And so, also from a lexical point of view, I think that we should, in fact, have comparisons with other fields and have suggestion, interpretation, different interpretation, and comparisons of different normative structures in different in the society. So just an idea that has been arrived to me in this moment. So thank you again for this opportunity and for the invitation.
شكرا جزيلا لإتاحة هذه الفرصة الكبيرة. أنا أتوقع هذا بداية حسنة. شكرا جزيلا دكتور محمد ولكل العاملين على الموضوع هذا. طبعا أنا أعضد على رأي زميلي دكتور سعيد. الفلك من المواضيع المهمة جدا واللي الآن في ما يخص بلاد الرافدين ميزوبوتاميا هناك كم هائل من البحوث الجديدة حول هذا الموضوع. يعني إضافة إلى نصوص الرياضيات أيضا أتوقع بأنه هناك العديد من النصوص اللي لحد اليوم مقروءة بشكل كبير. موضوع الليجل documents it's very important باعتبار أنه الموضوع هذا يقع ضمن الانترديسيبلينري aspect. هناك المواضيع كثيرة، لكن موضوع أنه ربطها بالجزيرة العربية ببلاد الرافدين والمناطق الأخرى هذا مهم جدا. على مود تكون هناك وحدة في الموضوع. هذه هي الرؤية العامة. شكرا جزيلا.
Also, thank you, first of all, for everybody. This has been a very good conference for me. First of all, I met people I collaborated with. I never meet them. First of all, محمد, Dr. Julian, Christian, Robin, and of course, Belmonte. All of you have been very helpful for me. I really thank you for that. My suggestion about the future is to increase substantially the study and the focus on the Arabian and Hijri calendar. Of course, I say this because of my maybe selfish like interest. I'm working on that all the day, every month, every year. But I think there's like a space for us to enter into this debate. The populists, which Dr. Muhammad called them الخزعبليين أعتقد, that they are taking the field to themselves, and they are saying things which first of all undermine our like sporadic research in this subject. I mean, they're attacking Quran, they're interpreting Quran the way they want, and we need to answer in some solid scientific research based on facts and like expertise, not just like wishes and hopes. So I really wish that we'll take a decision to increase the amount of focus on the Arabian calendar, because it's like our like duty to do research on things which benefit the people. Such research can, for example, like Dr. Marx, like I hear you work in an organization which works with the Quran. Our research will substantially, I believe, explain many things which I think wrong in the current accepted explanation of the Quran. Just a simple example. Of course, I don't know it's true, but I'm convinced that رحلة الشتاء والصيف. Okay, رحلة الشتاء والصيف. I think everybody knows what it is. Like the Arabs used to make 2 trips, one in summer and one in winter. The language in the Quran says رحلة, so it is 1 trip, not 2. And then I found out from the results I got that it was only talking about rihlata to Sham, to Syria and back. That's it. That's all it is. It's not to rihlata. And this is something simple, of course. But there might be some other things which I could not uncover like that. So all of this, like if, see, like in the first decade of Islam, this is the most affected by the difference between the Arabian calendar and the Hijri calendar, because the Hijri calendar did not exist, and all the dating in the first decade of Islam, not all, most of the great majority of it was done dating it by the Arabian calendar. And there is the start, there's a difference of 2 months, and as you go further towards the 10th month, there's a difference of 4 months, or maybe 5 actually, because the way they started, it's like 5. So, for example, Prophet Muhammad died about 6 months later than the Hijri calendar says, according to my results. Of course, I'm not saying it's correct, but this is my theory, and that's why if we have these discussions, we will contribute. The problem also is I find from my own experience in Chicago, is the Sunni Islam, they're not willing to discuss this. The Shiites, they have their sheikhs and they discussed it at length. Okay, but the Sunni Islam so maybe we can encourage them also to be part of us and discuss it. Another thing we can do is to get into the question of, can we use computations to determine the beginning of months, at least to see if it is good. So maybe we can invite some sheikhs and some people to work in this field. Thank you.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet everybody here. The only one I already knew was Angelo Fossati, so it's so nice to see new people. One wish, if Dr. Mohammed would allow me that. I would like in the future if the Athierat could propose a study that goes around Arabia and beyond, the connections that existed between Egypt, Iran, North Turkey, and so on. Because from an archaeological point of view, the region was linked to all the neighbors, and it's important to study those connections. So that's it.
Thank you also from my part. It was very interesting conference about calendars. I like calendars, but I hate calendars also, especially the deadlines for the for the paper. But yeah, it was interesting, even if in my view, obviously a little bit too much linguistic as an archaeologist, obviously, but it was very interesting. And this is why I already proposed in one of the meetings that we did online that we should consider to involve other disciplines, not only linguistics or literature or history, epigraphy, but also archaeology, more anthropology, I don't know, several studies. And one of the themes that, to me, in my view, can connect all these subjects, it's the one of the animals. The animals seen in many different views. It can be a subject interested in all the fields that are present here. Thank you.
مساء الخير. Thank you, Muhammad, but also thank you all for the contributions. In the last 2 days, I learned so much about your own research and about the connections between what was said. One topic that annoys me is political and administrative titles. Malik. This, I think, ancient titles were contaminated by modern understanding. So was a king of Moab a king in the sense of the British monarch? What is the difference between king and Amir, and Mukarrab, and Sakinu and Sharrum and so on. I think usually in the translation this is taken too, made too simple, and I think it would be interesting to draw a map, each one from his own side, about the titles that were used, their significance, and so on. So going back to linguistics, but also iconography, archaeology, and definitely anthropology, because these terms are being used in Jordan. We have local leaders designated as king, Malik Anbe, for example. And nobody, of course, thinks of a king in the sense of a monarch, but he's a king, and Amir, and so on. So there's a place also for anthropology, ethnography, and so on. Thank you so much.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. طبعا يعني سعيد جدا بوجودي بينكم، ويعني أشكر سعادة الأخ العزيز الدكتور محمد مرقتن على هذه الدعوة الطيبة. أنا أتكلم من يعني سواء كان مقترح مستقبلي أو كمشروع مستقبلي أو لفكرة مؤتمر. بتكلم من خلفية عملي في مجال المخطوطات ومجال التراث العربي المخطوط. يعني حقيقة أنا وجدت في هذه الندوة كثير بيركز على فكرة على النقوش وعلى المعطيات التي تقدمها النقوش المختلفة، بس عندنا جانب مهم جدا في التراث العربي المخطوط لم يتم معالجته حتى الآن، هو مخطوطات التي تحدثت عن التقاويم في التراث العربي، مخطوطات كاملة تحدثت عن التقاويم ووجودها في الجزيرة العربية والأزياج الفلكية، سواء كانت مخطوطات أو وثائق وبرديات موجودة حملت مادة علمية تحدثت عن حول هذا الموضوع. هذه تحتاج إلى أن نصنع لها بداية ثبت أو فهرس خاص بمخطوطات علم التقاويم في الحضارة العربية الإسلامية. هذه واحدة، ثم بعد ذلك نرى ما تم معالجته منها، أي تم تحقيقه منها، ومدى الاستفادة منه، ومدى مصداقية المعطيات التي وجدت فيه مع ما تم اكتشافه من يعني اكتشافات عبر النقوش إلى غير ذلك. أنا أظن هذا مشروع من المشروعات المهمة، وعندنا تراث مخطوطي مهم جدا في هذا الباب. الفكرة الثانية فكرة مخطوطات علم الأنواء والأزمنة، حقيقة هذه يعني لم يهتم بها بشكل كبير. كما قلت لكم يعني على حضراتكم أمس، يعني مخطوط القطرب مثلا على سبيل المثال حقق بشكل على مخطوط فردي ومعطياته ضعيفة. ابن كناسة مخطوطه موزع، أبو حنيفة الدينوري مخطوطه مش موجود، وموجود في مطوي في مؤلفات أخرى. هذه بعض المشروعات التي من الممكن أن تنفذ مستقبلا إن شاء الله. شكرا جدا لكم.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for your kind invitation. Although I was not participant in this conference, I'm really glad to see you all here. I see that most of the scholars here are coming from very different aspects, from very various fields, that the best way to bring all of us together would be through something like ethno-archaeology. I would suggest, Dr. Muhammad, to have something about the festivals in ancient Arabia. I think this topic would be able to join most of us through rock art. We will see what festivals have in the rock arts. So festivals, yeah. احتفالات. We can have a lot from ethnography. We have the buildings. We need to see what the calendars focusing about the time of the festivals. Linguistically, we have Hajj. We can include the pre-Islamic reports from the Islamic literature, Hajj al-Jahiliyyah and the Islamic Hajj, and all kind of festivals and all over Arabia. This would be a way to have all of us together again in similar conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much also for this conference. It was, I have the same feeling as most of the participants. It was very interesting because it was interdisciplinary, so we could exchange in the fields where we are not experts, and it helps a lot. So there are many topics, and I would think also about agriculture, or in more generally, because Arabian Peninsula has a lot of deserts also, including nomads and perhaps more general exploitation of the natural resources and transforming them into the means of surviving or simply life. And it could include, again, many specialists of different disciplines and archaeology, ethnoarchaeology, and so on, and specialists of inscriptions, Islamic tradition, and so on.
Thank you. This is festival day today because this is a success conference and very nice meeting with you. About side topic, of course, today we have several discovery from Arabia, and Arabic, Saudi, Yemeni, Oman, all Prince Arabia. It is, we must give all people today new interpretation of sources Arabic, because we have a lot of information about this history. We have a new light about this period. Of course, we have similar information about history of Arab history before Islam, concerning period, last period, 4th century to 6th century. It is very, very good idea. We must to work together, all researchers, about this history. And مقبل topic publish idea publish lexic or dictionary, no dictionary, list of most is good idea. After publish this conference. Thank you for all topic.
Thank you. So we have a lot of proposition. I can add some ideas. We have two kind of things. New fields like environment, nature, climate change, animals, things like that, and all the fields which are not satisfactorily covered. For instance, the Arabic language in pre-Islamic Arabia. There is point of view completely different. This is the first point. About the name of the languages, there is no agreement. So there is a reconsideration, a complete reconsideration of all the documentation to do in the next years, and to choose a common terminology in all the languages, especially English and Arabic. And there is no agreement at all about the terminology. About the state, Omar al-Ghul is right. We don't know anything about the finance. We don't know anything about the organization of the army. There is no study since 52, the thesis of Yakrik-Mans. So it's a field which is not covered at all. The organization of the temple, the person in charge of the temple. We have the Kayan, Saleh, Rashu, and so on. There is no study of that. The wealth of the temple, the treasure, the organization of the temple, the haram, and so on. So in the traditional field, you have also a lot of subjects which are not covered. So now it's your responsibility.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are really, first thanks for all of these ideas, because it helps for orientation and trying to study things or to do activities on that. The last aspect, we were thinking of it and discussed that with some friends. Early history of Arabic language, that means pre-Islamic time. Also the origin in a combination with the origins or origin of the script, Arabic script. There is a really confrontation, especially in the Arab world, because I mean the struggle is between the language of Adam, Arabic, or to which extent can we consider the pre-Islamic Arabic sources, the inscriptions. The people don't know that we have more than 100,000 inscriptions. Even they don't accept it. In the Arab world, there is a crazy things such as, I had a discussion, hard discussion. Somebody said, what is Akkadian? This is an Arabic dialect. So what's these inscriptions? These are mukharbashat. You have to forget it. I think in the Arab world, yes, now, we can see there are two categories, Kulliyat al-Sharia and the departments of Arabic language. There are the Arab scholars, for 1,000 years, they are more open-minded than these today. Of course, it's not the confrontation with these groups. It is just to start, develop a methodology, work on that, and deliver some really good work in the field, and it is possible. What our colleague Saeed, I think it is also very important also to have a meeting maybe on the historiography and the methodology and writing Arab history or the history of Arabian Peninsula from inscriptions. So this is another approach. We have, so there are several ideas. I agree. Also, the legal institutions, they are very, very important. Of course, you have on the Nabatean some, you have South Arabia some, but there is no general, really, if you, let us say, we have to make a handbook of that, the methodology, the terminology, and the concepts. So I think it is a challenge for us, and this is something, it's important, our cooperation, also with other colleagues, but I think we have to start gathering the ideas on the problems of the state, and so I discussed with our colleague Andre, this is something I published in that very teeny things about the origin of the state. We need really to study the institution, political institutions, social institutions, and so on. And this is, I think, very, very important, yeah? So also the temple, the concept, what is a temple in Arabia? I think if we have there will be, you have to think about it. Is that the sacred space? Is the temple only the building, or as you mentioned, also these personal and so on? But I think, I'm sure we will develop idea. And the first one is, we didn't decide that yet for the next issue, number of Athirat. We're thinking of the animals, in rock art, in excavations, everything what we have in the inscriptions and so on. Food, yeah, of course. Food also. Yeah. So we have ideas, and I think we will cooperate and discuss. That's my, I would really ask you, any of these ideas, or you have the idea, please send it to the address of Athirat. And of course, we will not be able to do everything at once, so on the spot, but we gather the ideas, and we think what we have, what we can do for future. Monthly meeting? No, just send a letter, and we will wait يعني quick as possible to have the contribution of this conference. But we will, I mean, let me say, we gather the ideas. It will be not bad. Maybe we'll do it once on Zoom. Who wants to discuss that, we can make it, no problem. Okay. That's my.
So this was a conclusion, I suppose, of our meeting. No, yeah.
I mean, your word will be.
Hisham, you want?
Okay.
إذا نصل إلى ختام هذا الملتقى الطيب، وبقي أن يوزع الدكتور مرقط الآن بعد الهدايا. أولا يوزع الهدايا الذهبية الآن. هدايا تقليدية، عفوا هدايا تقليدية. وبعدين نلتقط صورة للمشاركين هنا، صورة جماعية بعد توزيع هذا الهدايا الرمزية.
Photo and on behalf of the Center, Hassan bin Muhammad Center for the Studies of Ancient Arabia, there is a symbol gift from Sheikh Hassan that will give it to the speakers. So that's what he sent to the speakers. And not to forget, I think was Muhammad, 7:30, we'll have a dinner in Mal al-Sham. Mal al-Sham, that what's belonged to Damascus, a Syrian restaurant. Yeah, okay. Come. يعني you changed you told me 7:30. Okay. يعني 15 minutes to 7. Okay, no problem. يعني okay. على مهلك. أنا مش بطلت أفهم. Okay, we have to leave at 7. 15 minutes before 7, we have to be down. Okay. 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Then we have the symbolic gift of Sheikh Hassan for the speakers. خليكم هناك. اوكي. اوكي.
لا هم مضبطين حق الجوائز هذه
بالاسماء. اوكي. ايه we'll start.
خلاص انت بس نادي الاسم يجي.
ايه كريستيان روبان. فيرست شيء. هي تعال وأ.د. اوكي. اوكي شكرا. Andrei Gingrich. Okay. So, Juan Palmanti. Ivona قايدة. Yeah. With that. Okay. سعيد السعيد. هلا يلا. خلينا نشوف. عمر الغول. هلا أنجلو فساتي.
Only one?
No, we tried. You tried, but
Yeah, I'm
they have no
Italian, I
time.
need women.
اوكي خلينا هنا كيف؟ مقبل الأحمدي. الآن هذه ذكرى راح تعجبك.
طيبة.
ميشائيل ماركس. أليسيو أغوستيني. عبد الرؤوف الوسلاتي. هشام عابد. ليث حسين. هلا هلا. أحمد عطية. فيصل المجيدي. منير عربش. So good luck.